Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of the Route to Market podcast by Rombic. Today's guest is someone I know really well. I actually spent Cheltenham with him this year, unfortunately. So without further ado, welcome Michael Palmer from Russell Roof Tiles. How you doing?
Morning, welcome. Yeah, very well, thank you. Suffering with this heat, but as we were just saying, of course, it's 3 days maximum, and we've got to get through. So
Yeah, you're talking about your new fan as well, aren't you?
yeah, for those of you who can see the new, I won't be giving them a plug today, but a very good fan.
So, we just want to start today by getting a bit of a story about your history, how you got to where you are, how long you've been in the industry, if you can, please.
Yeah, no problem. So obviously, name's Michael Palmer. I'm the regional sales manager South for a company called Russell Roof Tiles. And I started well over 20 years ago now, believe it or not. I am that old, Matt. And I started as a forklift truck driver. Struggled through school, if I'm being honest. Concentration was the issue.
Never.
Yeah, and then I went to college for a year, and then I saw a job offer. It was actually advertised. This is how old I am, in the job centre. So I had to put my CV across, and yeah, I turned up to a quarry making building materials in a suit, highly polished shoes, and young and naive, and quite clearly the man in rigger boots and overalls got the forklift truck driver job over me because they probably thought I wasn't ready for the job and knew what it entailed. And then I got a call a couple of weeks later. It didn't work out, and I've been there ever since.
What did you actually want to be?
What did I want to be? I wanted to be an actor at school. I had it I had it. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I've had a few rodeos, but I wanted to be an actor. Just, it was never going to work, was it? Let's be honest.
Did you ever get on anything interesting? Have you been an extra or anything?
No, is the honest answer. No, there was a TV program with Nicholas Lyndhurst, which is from Only Fools and Horses. That they filmed a couple of episodes back in my day before Barney and Teletubbies. There was a program called Round and Round, and I starred with him on that for an episode or two. I don't remember seeing any payment, but I'm sure my mum did.
Did you really?
Yeah, actually, fun fact.
You need to speak to our marketing director. He actually starred. Do you know the series on Netflix? I think it's called You or something. He's actually an extra as a skateboarder in that, and he actually can't skateboard. He lied to get on it.
Well, somewhere in my mum's attic, it's on Betamax. I don't know if you even you know what a Betamax is, but before VHS videos, it's Betamax. It was a video player about 8 foot high and buttons that you used to have to hang on to get it switched on. So life history for you. Yeah, but yeah, it was never for me. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I had a forklift truck license because I did a bit of agency work, and I saw this advertised, and I was like, I'll go give it a go. And then I've progressed throughout the plant. So, I'm quite diverse. I've done the yard. I've done the plant. I've worked inside the factory, and then progressed myself through junior sales exec, senior sales, worked for a number of areas of the company as well. It's where I am today. Yeah, now growing my own team, hence the reason our relationship started.
So what do you put that down to, the success for being able to progress like that?
I'm in sales. You're born with sales or you're not. It's not for everybody. It's certainly not 9 to 5. Again, as we were discussing earlier, the hours, the time that you put in, organization, planning. Why are you going into that call? What's the objectives? And I've known some of my customers now 15 years, and I still plan and prepare for every single call like I did. 2 memorable moments of failure for me, I would say, of me starting my career at Russell Roof Tiles. First one was failed to prepare. Big problem. Went out there, got the job, got the promotion through into sales, and I thought, yeah, this is me. Got my first company car. I could drive around, sell a few tiles. Everything's great. So I did my research. I was told by my boss at the time, you do your research. You go and find these stockists, merchants, if you like, who stock tiles, and you go and sell them some Russell Roof Tiles. Tell them how good we are. Tell them all about the business, and you go and sell some us. Easy, I could do that. So first call, got in the car, drove from Bristol to Gloucester, looking around and thinking, first call, is this what it's all about? It's what I got to do 6 times a day, every day. So I went in there and in my suit with my pen and my pad under my arm, and yeah, they didn't sell roof tiles. It was ceramic tiles. So yeah, lack of preparation failed me on day one.
Interesting, isn't it? Because I was speaking to someone last week in our first podcast, and they said that everyone kind of just falls into this industry.
Yeah, 100%.
And then no one ever seems to leave, do they?
No, absolutely not. And that lesson was probably one of the best lessons for me because I never let it happen again. And it wasn't just about, tiles, whatever. It was about the whole, when I sat back in the car and reflected, even at a younger age, what have I just done? I've let myself down. I've let my company down. I've let my manager down, because it wasn't the fact that they didn't say, it's funny, we laugh about it now, but actually how ill prepared was I for the whole industry, the job
Yeah.
itself, and it was a massive lesson that I learned very, very quickly. That will never happen to me again. Touch wood, it hasn't, because sometimes you need to have your fingers burnt to learn, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. And there's no kind of like rhyme or reason with the training, it seems, in this industry, is it? You kind of like said, right, you go to sell this. I suppose quite a lot of sales jobs are similar. Like you learn about the product, but you don't really learn about how to actually kind of take it and who wants it, that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the best lessons are learned from failure, aren't they?
Yeah. But I was having a conversation the weekend with a friend. At school, you're not taught about investment, finance, savings, how to save for your future. None of that. You learn yourself the hard way as you get older. And it's exactly the same with everyday working. You can keep as much knowledge, product knowledge, competitor knowledge, information in your head as you
Yeah.
need. But if you don't prepare, you've got a failed call from the start.
So how do you go about preparing now then based on that kind of learning?
A lot of it for me now is experience, but as I was saying, I still plan the same. So it depends on what call, because I was saying to our newest recruit now, there's 3 or 4 very different calls. You've got your merchant stockist route, you've got your specification route, and then what comes with that is 2 very different calls. And you might have 3 or 4 of them in the same day that skip around. So you need to make sure, you can't just think to yourself, right, I'm going to plan all my spec calls the same. I'm going to come off a hymn sheet and everyone's going to be copy and paste. It's not like that. Every builder builds different amount of units. They build differently, different specifications, all got different wants and requirements. So yeah, it does come with experience. But how I plan now, I still look at whether I'm going to a builder, how many units they build in, what sort of share can we get, what share are we getting, what sites are up and coming, where are they? And then if I have a follow-up call, I'd have made sure that I visited those sites, drove that area, even if it's just a bit of grass, the land that they've told me about, have a look round, what's on the roofs, what do I think could get through planning, rather than just turning up there with my product and saying, I bought you a sample. Is I've researched this area
Yeah.
already, and I know that we could probably get through planning with this because it's on this side of the road or that side of the road. So it's a lot more to just, can I come and see you and have a coffee and a cake and talk about your future work? It's doing all the background work as well. A lot of the majors now have national agreements. So they already know that they're okay.
Yeah.
It's more about what else is in the package, what else is in the service. So I try and plan for basically any question that may get thrown at me, I can answer, not just technically, but about their own business. So they feel like I've really invested in them,
Yeah, that makes
giving my secrets away, aren't I?
And how's the business doing at the moment? What sort of challenges are you facing? What's going on that's quite exciting at the moment as well?
Yeah, well, really exciting time for Russell Roof Tiles, because we've just obviously launched the Butte 3, which is our new triple cambered sort of interlocking plain tile equivalent, which for me in my area in the south is a big demand for it. Pressure's on, but yeah, big demand for it. And yeah, look, the biggest issues at the minute is the market. There's one thing that we cannot control. We can be technically the best. We can have the best product on the market, the best service in the industry, all of the accreditations that are required. We cannot control the market. We can see it before it's coming, but that's the biggest challenge at the minute. And I'm sure if you spoke to anybody in the construction industry this year in particular, it's been particularly slow
Yeah.
for quarter one. But look, it's coming back. The confidence is coming back. We're busy, and everybody wants more. We could always be busier, but in general terms, it's starting to pick up now. It's been dry. Also, let's not forget, January rained every day for 5 weeks almost, didn't it? So that didn't help. But yeah, overall, now the weather's returning, confidence in spend's back. The merchants are starting to turn their yard stock over. Yeah, we're in a good place.
Interesting, right? Because I was speaking to someone from one of the big brick manufacturers yesterday, and they were saying that back in the day, like you'd have before COVID, you'd have like a 6-year cycle where it'd be good for 6 years, then you'd have like a recession or something, or 7 years. But now it seems like you have 2 good months and then everything drops off, then 2 good months and everything drops off. There's like no rhyme or reason to it, and because it's obviously everything's so like globalized, things that happen in the Middle East or in America or wherever, it really affects UK construction as well. So I guess
And how fast, Matt, as well.
yeah.
How fast it happens. I'm forecasting, we're big on forecasting, but exactly what you've just said then. Sometimes, I say a forecast it's a best guesstimate. However, it's got to be a best guesstimate based on the information you have. Pipeline work that's coming through, when's it starting, how, Where's it going to go to? At what sort of volumes? Because there's nothing worse. And again, as I was saying to our new recruit, don't be coming to production and saying, I'm out again, we're out again. And you've not told them,
Yeah.
we all do a monthly forecast. Forecast is so important, but you've just hit the nail on the head then. At the moment, you might go, sold 1,000 of them, sold nothing. Sold 300 of that. It's very difficult to forecast because unfortunately the construction industry at the minute don't know when they build it. I was on site yesterday and one of the builders actually said, one of the contractors said to me, we got told to stop halfway through the roof. And he said, like, well, we need to finish the roof. We're halfway through it. And he said, we're not doing anything else on this site until we've sold.
So how are you managing that from a manufacturing perspective? Then it obviously has to be a lot of collaboration between different departments, right? But how are you actually getting around that? Sorry.
It's hard. It's a challenge. Asking the right questions at the right time, everybody knowing what's coming. Obviously, we utilize our in-house systems, our CRMs, so we know we've logged all of our jobs. We kind of know when they're coming. We have a run rate from a contractor spend, if you like. However, again, you've just said it, that means nothing at the moment because they could just stop it for a couple of weeks and then go again. So it's being on top of it all the time, making sure that you're on top of it all the time, seeing your customers, asking the questions. That's the most important thing, is feeding that information back. It's no good being left in your notebook.
Yeah, for sure.
So-and-so told me they're not building for another 3 months. Leave it in your notebook. Drive off to the next school. Great. So it's a collaboration between the sales, production in particular, and the senior management and production plan.
Yeah.
Your raw materials, we can tell them to make it, but if we haven't given them enough notice and then the raw materials aren't there, then it just adds to an issue.
Effect, isn't it? Because you'll be delayed, and then you've got contractors and house builders, etc., moaning at you, and at the end of the day, you're at the front end of it, right? So you get it from from sales. But do you think at some point over the next couple of years, things will start to even out and go back to how they were, where you get a prolonged period of sort of increased activity?
This cannot be. Britain has to build, right? This cannot be the norm. It's just over what time scale. We've seen improvements already. And speaking with the builders, certainly this quarter, second quarter of the year, they're saying that they're looking for growth on units, on volume build. So no, I don't think this is the norm. I think everyone's worried. What happened was after COVID or during COVID, people extended and improved rather than moved.
Yeah.
That completely stopped. Merchants in the industry turning over stock, like you'd set up a full load of product and they turn it over in a couple of days or even a week or whatever. The next order would come in. Now you're like, how are you getting on with that? Still got some, because the foot traffic is slowed down because people are scared to spend their own money.
Yeah, it seems like everyone just wants to go on holiday again to get out of the country, doesn't it?
Yeah, that'll be me next week.
Where are you up to?
I'm taking my son and his partner. We're going to Tunisia for a week.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, it's just literally a run for the sun. It wasn't planned. He got his first job, so we said we'll take him away for a week. But it's just guaranteed weather, isn't it?
Life at the top, eh?
Oh yeah, where I was yesterday and where I'm going today.
So going back to sort of the sector then, what's it like out there just in general? Like you mentioned earlier that price is obviously a massive factor at the moment, and obviously there's always been relationships and sales are a massive thing, but does it feel like to you, because it does from what we're hearing, that relationships are kind of less important at the moment? It's more about how cheap you can get it?
100%. Yeah, look, we pride ourselves at being value for money. That's what we are. Value for money. That unfortunately in life, there's always going to be cheaper. It doesn't matter what you're buying in the world, whether it's clothing, brands, cars, construction products, there's always cheaper. But what does that actually mean? Is it cheaper today to buy? Or, you spend £1 on a car, but it costs you £10,000 a service and you need 3 a year. It's not so cheap, is it?
No.
Yeah, you're right. Relationships are good because people who've worked with us and me for a long time know what it means. If you're delayed on site, for argument's sake, how much does that cost you? If that scaffold doesn't come down because the company that you've gone with that were X amount cheaper, how much does that cost you in production? What does it mean? So still got that bit of loyalty, but it's getting harder because people look at a price now on a piece of paper, and it's pressure, isn't it? It's pressure. They're under pressure to get that build done as cheap as they can. But what does that mean? Innovation comes, dry fix, for argument's sake. Dry fix comes for multiple reasons: speed, aesthetics. It's innovation. However, back in the day, before they used the dry fix systems, they were wet bedding, sand and cement, and it failed. A lot of time it failed. And I've got a builder at the minute that thinks it's cheaper to get back to traditional wet bed over dry fix. And I'm saying, well, what's your aftercare team then? How much is that going to cost you when it starts failing? And the reason innovation happens a lot of the time is for improvements and to save money. But it's constant pressure, and it doesn't. Relationships are important, of course they are, because people trust you. But it's not as important anymore, because even your most loyal besties, unfortunately, is out of their hands a lot of the time now.
You can understand why as well, can't you? Because like you said, it's pressure on everyone. Like it obviously has a knock-on effect, doesn't it? If with inflation and everything else that's going on, it's putting the price up from the bottom end all the way to the top end. So you can
Yeah,
understand why that people want to squeeze the margins so much.
yeah, and price in general, whilst is important, price increase. There's another example. Price increase shouldn't be a dirty word. Everybody dreads it. Everybody, it causes mass panic when any manufacturer gives up a price increase. Nobody wants to do it. Excuse me. Nobody wants to do it. Unfortunately, it has to happen for multiple reasons. Wages increase, fuel increases, energy increases, raw materials increase. But when a price increase and goes to market, it's not paying it. Let's look for another alternative. Well, you might look for an alternative because, well, when did that manufacturer that you're going to last increase? Because they might do it again in 2 months' time. They might do it in 6 months'
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
it's constant. Price is probably the biggest challenge overall at the minute. Not just about the price, but the package, the
Yeah.
service that goes with it, and then the fear of, well, we might have to go for price increases in 6 months. We can't help what's happened in the world. How's that going to go down with some of your suppliers and your friends, your customers? It happens.
What would you say is working well at the moment then? So we talked quite a lot about sort of the issues, the challenges and stuff, but what's working well? What are you finding that's actually making a positive impact?
For us, we've seen significant growth, hence the reason that we are recruiting or building what I've got down in the south. A lot of that has come from the investment that we got to manage to launch the Boot 300%. That has come. Stability, you look at my CV, some would say it's lack of ambition, but I've been very lucky or worked hard enough to get promotions within. I've been here more than half of my life. So people know Russell Rooftops associated with Michael Palmer. So that helps massively, because sadly people will jump for 500 quid and you've spent thousands of pounds training them, but they've got an eagerness to get to the top and impatient. Impatient is probably a good way of putting it. So they jump, and then when you've got an external salesperson of any kind that you've invested in jumping for that sort of value, it's heartbreaking really, but it does happen.
Loyalty is such a underrated thing, I think, in this industry, because even from our perspective, clients will always say we don't want people who've jumped around. We want people who've stayed and not job hoppers. But then a lot of people, I'd say probably a lot of my generation particularly, get somewhere quicker than they're actually ready to be. So they do move around for that extra job title or that extra few grand here and there. And then their CV after 5 years, before they know it, they've been at one place 18 months, one place 10 months, one place a year. And it doesn't look great when you are looking for new
No,
jobs.
well, we had that conversation 6 months ago, and for somebody looking for someone is an educational process as well, because they do gain extra experience, from moving. However, the fear from a recruiter is, are they going to go again? You're going to spend all this money training them, introduce them all to your customers. They just start building, and that's what happens. They just start building a relationship. They get really good, and then they get going, and then they get the confidence, and obviously then they get known and get approached, don't they? So.
Mm. And then what about, so that's what Russell Roof Tiles are doing well. What about the market? What do you see in the market generally that's kind of improving, or is making it improve?
I think that the confidence now in the market in general is coming back. We could do with knowing what's going on with our government, because I think that would help massively. And then as soon as the major house builders start to build again, the whole industry changes, and that can happen very quickly. What's good is all the people that I speak to within sales internally are saying sales are still good. They're not where they were. They're not where we predicted them to be, but they are still happening.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
new builds in particular are still building. The refurb market, local authorities, they've got a program every year, and they're still improving their properties. So it's just, for us, we're looking at the roof structure and above, and the confidence is improving and it's coming back. It's just not at the pace that anybody wants it.
Yeah, for sure. It'll get there, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, we not be here for part two.
So the last part of the podcast
Yeah.
is the quick six. So
Okay.
I'm basically going to rattle off 6 questions. They're meant to be quick fire, but you can have a little bit of time to think if you want.
Thank you.
Anything for you, mate. Um, So the first question I've got is, what is your pint of choice and where do you want to drink it? I know what you're going to say here because you don't drink beer, but
Yeah, well, I'm not, as you know, I'm not a beer drinker. So my pint of choice would be a pint of rum, preferably in the Caribbean somewhere with my AirPods on, listening to a podcast from an audio, but maybe not this one. But
you're definitely not getting anybody back on that.
yeah, it'd be a pint of rum, I'm afraid.
Okay,
Yeah, I'd have
no
to have a
mixer.
mix. So yeah, so let's go with half a pint of rum and half a pint of Sprite.
Okay, cool. This next question is probably quite easy because you're a Villa fan.
Absolutely not.
So Premier League match day with a meal or 18 hole followed by the pub?
Being a Bristol City fan, we've never been to the Premier League, so I wouldn't actually know what it's like. So I would get pretty joyful watching me hack my way around a course. Yeah, there's your answer for that one. Never been.
Would you play off?
Normally a wooden tee, but
How many times did that joke?
look, because I know I'm so poor and I don't actually like to say the handicaps, I don't think there is a number for me. So I just always write 28 on the card. But I will improve.
Nice. So you're a bandit.
I've never won anything.
Fair. Okay, so what's the worst job you've ever done and what did it teach
like
you?
I said, this is the job. I had a couple of agency roles beforehand. So the actual job, I'd have to say my paper round at school because it was horrible. It was an early morning one. It was at 6 o'clock in the morning, freezing cold, boiling hot, didn't matter what the weather was, but that taught me that you get up out of bed on the morning to go and earn your own money at a sensible time, set your alarm clock. Wish I could set my alarm clock now, but unfortunately I don't sleep. But yeah, it has to be the paper round. I mean, it was a good job because, I was earning money at school, but yeah, it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about, what after school life would look like. Meant to be quick fire. Sorry, I'm going to another story.
That's all right, mate. So the next question is, you go to a DJ and you have to put on one
Mr.
song. What is
Brightside
it?
Killers. Not my favourite song, but it's a dance floor filler every time, isn't it? Has to be. If you're ever at a gig and the dance floor's struggling and you say, come on, buddy, put this on, guarantee you it's full. They come from places that don't even know there's people at the party. They just appear.
But that is a good shout, to be fair. Okay, so if you could put one current player from any sport into your sales team for a year, who would you put in and why?
But a current player, it's got to be Cristiano Ronaldo, hasn't it? Not because his football ability, but again, what we were talking about for the last half an hour, preparation. The hours that he puts into, but he doesn't just turn up to a football match and play or go to training and play. It's free kicks, or especially certainly back in the day, and the effort, the leadership that he puts on a pitch, he makes strugglers look better. So yeah, he'd fit my sales team very, very well. And he can bring a few of his mates in his yacht as well.
If she could plug a fair few roof tiles, to be fair, if you walk into a merchant.
A bit of eye candy walking into a merchant instead of me rocking up. I wonder they did.
And then last question, concrete, clay or slate tiles? That took you too long to answer that.
Because I was trying to think as to why would you ask a concrete manufacturer that? Absolutely concrete all day long.
Okay. Thank you very much. You can find Michael on LinkedIn or obviously through the Russell Roof Tiles head office. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next route.
Have a good day.